The Bible hasn't told you the whole truth, and it's hidden in plain sight, a fact that could change the way you see the world. Don't believe me? Then stay until the end, because this will surprise you. Mary Magdalene, considered by many only as a repentant sinner, actually holds great importance within the world of religion. That is why today we will delve into the hidden Gospel of Mary Magdalene, a lost text that reveals her wisdom and her fundamental role in the history of Christianity. Get ready to discover surprising truths that have been hidden in the shadows, waiting to be revealed, and you will see how this will change the way you see the Bible. The forbidden Gospel of Mary Magdalene is a text that has generated controversy over the centuries because it raises ideas that challenge traditional church teachings. And no wonder, since what he puts into words contradicts much of what we know about religion so far. For example, this gospel argues that sin does not actually exist in the way the church has taught. Rather than seeing sin as a stain or burden we are born with and must atone for, the real problem is seen as ignorance of our own divinity and connection to the divine. And although this seems revealing, it is only one of the small truths hidden between its pages. Another interesting concept he raises is that Mary Magdalene was the true leader of the Jesus movement after his death. According to this text, she had deep spiritual knowledge and a fundamental role in spreading the teachings of Jesus, something that did not fit with the narrative of the early church, where the leaders were mostly men. This idea of Mary Magdalene as a central figure is seen as a threat to the control that the church exercised, especially in matters of spiritual authority and power within the institution. And so we could name several extremely interesting facts which give a new nuance to what we know as religion. And since it contains such uncomfortable truths, it makes sense that the church would want to hide this gospel. For the early church, which depended on maintaining a hierarchy and guiding the faithful through its own rules, these ideas that went beyond the norms were extremely dangerous, mainly to show Mary Magdalene as the visible face of Christianity. If people began to believe that they could connect directly with the divine, the power of the church as an institution was threatened. And by hiding this gospel and other similar texts, the church maintained its power and control over spiritual teachings and the interpretation of the faith. Or at least that is what they believe to this day. Beyond the uncomfortable truths for the church, the teachings hidden in this gospel can be of great help to people like you and me, even for those who do not believe or are not connected with the idea of the church, because they propose a completely different vision of the world than what we usually hear. You see, beyond the vision of sin and the image of Mary Magdalene, this gospel reveals a great truth, much greater than those we have mentioned so far. And that is that the material world is an illusion, an idea that, although it seems straight out of science fiction, has much in common with spiritual traditions such as Buddhism and Hinduism. According to this perspective, what we experience as physical reality is only a superficial appearance, not the ultimate truth. In fact, Jesus himself teaches in this gospel that all matter is interconnected, that is, that every person, object, and being is linked at a deeper level, being a fact that goes beyond the physical and invites ordinary people to transcend that illusion. Stop focusing on the material or what distracts us from our true essence. This truth comes with a message between the lines for those who know how to interpret it. And that is that we can return to the original source, what some might call God, the universe, or the primordial energy, leaving behind trivial concerns such as money, power, or possessions, to concentrate on what is truly important, growing spiritually. Being a unique opportunity to change our lives, changing the spiritual to then change reality. And while this sounds like a deeply spiritual idea, the truth is that it has many of its bases in the world of science, being an important point, where both worlds converge and agree to give us a unique opportunity to change our paradigm. Quantum mechanics is the bridge between the two, being a theory that greatly reinforces what was learned in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Having two key names on the scientific side of the matter, and these are Max Planck and Erwin Schrödinger. Let's start by talking about Max Planck. He is considered the father of quantum mechanics, and he discovered that matter, as we perceive it, is composed mainly of energy and light, not solid particles as previously believed. What we see as solid objects, such as a table or our own body, are made up of tiny particles that are nothing more than packets of energy in motion. According to his research, everything we see is made of energy vibrations that behave very differently when observed at a quantum level. What appears to us to be solid is, in reality, an energy field in constant motion, including ourselves. This idea was supported by his colleague, the well-known Erwin Schrödinger, acclaimed for the Schrödinger's cat experiment, also being another important pillar of quantum mechanics. In his own research, he proposed that matter is not something fixed or defined, but rather a set of possibilities that depend on how we interact with it. It's as if everything that exists in the universe is connected to a larger energy field, where what we perceive as real is just a part of something much deeper. When we put this together with the ideas of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, we see that both science and spirituality are saying something very similar. And this is that reality is not only what we perceive with our eyes, but an interconnected field of energy, light, and possibilities, which resonates deeply with what we've learned so far. The world we perceive is an illusion, and there is something deeper behind that appearance. We are not separate beings from the world, but rather we are part of a universal field of energy. This field unifies everything that exists, and the way we interact with it is through our actions, thoughts, and emotions. Thus, ancient spiritual teachings and modern scientific discoveries seem to be saying the same thing. Reality is much more complex and energetic than our senses can perceive. Understanding this, the idea that the material world is an illusion makes even more sense and invites us to look beyond what we simply see, giving us an understanding capable of transforming our vision of the universe and giving us a new paradigm in which we can do things better. What is explained in the same gospel as spiritual liberation. Instead of relying on other people or institutions to guide us on our spiritual path, we are able to find our own path to the truth, beginning an internal process that helps us realize that we already have what we need to connect with the divine, taking advantage of that connection to guide ourselves towards authentic and lasting spiritual liberation. By achieving this higher state of consciousness, we connect with a more expansive reality, where the duality and suffering of the physical world lose their power over us. It is a place where we can experience deep peace and understanding, feeling one with the universe. In this state, we are no longer limited by our external circumstances. Instead, we can live from a place of love, wisdom, and authenticity. For many people, this process begins almost naturally, but if you are not in that group, well-known practices such as meditation, reflection, and mindfulness will help you. In this way, by cultivating awareness of our thoughts and emotions, we will begin to undo the limiting beliefs that keep us trapped in patterns of suffering. So remember that this journey is personal and unique to each one of us. It's all about allowing yourself to explore and discover this inner light, leaving behind that which no longer serves you. Little by little, you will open your eyes, just as Max Planck, Erwin Schrödinger, or Mary Magdalene herself would have wanted. What do you think about this topic? Did you know this incredible gospel? Let us know in the comments. If you are interested in continuing to explore ancient texts to change your current reality, do not hesitate to visit this video that we have for you. This secret from 6,000 years ago will change your reality. If you got this far, I want to thank you for watching the video. If you like this type of content, don't hesitate to support the channel with your like and your subscription. I also invite you to take a look at our other videos. I'm sure you'll like more than one. Thank you very much for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.